folks, and welcome to the 4th episode of Just the Two of Us, 2 artists, 2 songs, 2 questions on Tuesday night. Tonight I'm joined by Bailey Coates, a pop singer based out of Birmingham, Alabama. She's been releasing some incredible music, and I'm really excited to talk with her about some new releases and everything she's got going on, so let's jump right in.
How are you doing, girlie?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. Honestly, I think I'm realizing this is the first time we're ever actually going to chat one-on-one, which is so crazy to me because I know we been DMing for the last I want to say 7-8 months or so. So it's kind of crazy it's actually happening.
I read some interviews that you had done, and I found out something that I thought was really interesting, that you studied marketing at University of Alabama, correct?
I did.
And so I thought that was so interesting that you studied marketing, because I studied communications at the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga. How do you think that marketing, studying that in school, has helped you as an artist?
Ooh, you know what's funny, Rachel? The first time I ever messaged you was actually because I was so impressed by your marketing that you have been doing on TikTok and was like, wait, what the heck? This is incredible. In all actuality, as much as I thoroughly enjoyed my time, my education in school, I think the overall marketing experience, the one thing I did learn from my degree was just simply the fact that people are the driving force behind anything, whether it's a service, product, whatever. But most importantly, it gets back to the root, which is what I built my brain on now, and kind of having gotten to restart everything, is that people matter. And that without the focus actually being on the person you're trying to reach, and especially with music, it being so personal and something that you're giving a part of yourself to, you have to have the focus be the driving, be the consumer, be the person. And with music, as you well know, of course, it makes it that much more rewarding because at the end of the day, you're making something that other people are hopefully connecting with.
One way that you've done that, obviously, is through your IDK release. You had people dance on TikTok, do all different sorts of TikToks, and then you put it together in that awesome video. So can you talk a little bit about what that experience was like and how you got that idea?
But no, what was so cool about this entire IDK campaign was just more or less the fact that this song I feel relates to a lot of people, because at the point in my life when we wrote this, I had every single person, just as you well know, graduating from school being like, what are you going to do with your life? What's going to happen? When are you going to get married? Are you going to have kids? What's going on? And you go, wait a second, time out. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm doing in my life. And when we came to bring that song, I'm like, this applies to so many people, though, because at the end of the day, we're always being asked questions about our future. We're always being asked to plan ahead versus actually living in the moment and living in the present. And so with this, we were like, let's take it to TikTok and just kind of see what happens. And people were so gracious and just incredible by simply putting it out and asking, do you want to be in a music video? And it really was all thanks to the generous and kind people who decided to make videos and take time out of their day to make this even happen. So really and truly, it goes back to the people and the fans and them being such an instrumental part of everything. And it's something I'm so grateful for because I've got to meet some wonderful people because of it.
Yeah, I was just showing it to my mom, and we were both so impressed with how it turned out and all the people that submitted their TikToks. They did such a good job and put so much effort into it. And so that was just really cool. What song do you want to share with us tonight?
I'm actually going to share with you a new song that we have coming out here in July. So it's not as bubbly and crazy and quirky and whatnot, but it's a little more serious. So hopefully my speakers are working right. It's been kind of a weird day. But this record is something that I wrote at a time where I was questioning myself, questioning the relationship I was in, and was just having a lot of doubts. And the fear of missing out, FOMO, and I'm sure you probably heard this term in college because I had it shoved down my throat, was everyone going, you're missing out on this if you don't go do this, blah, blah, blah. And that term ended up becoming a song that described kind of how I was feeling. So here goes FOMO. That's going to be released in July.
Is it my mistake? Did we find each other too soon? I'm chasing dreams, but I feel like I'm losing you. Is it somewhere we can talk? I just gotta get this off my chest. I just hit my luck. Why does it feel I failed the test? I'm selfish, can't help it. I keep you, 'cause I'm scared to leave you. It's the fear missing out. It's the fear knowing now. Someone gets up and tell you, let's just live with you. It's the fear. better if I tell you. Let me down, I don't wanna hurt you, but I think it's overdone. I think this road is bound to zip somewhere we can talk. I just gotta get this off my chest. I just hit my luck. Why does it feel like I failed the test? I'm selfish, can't help it. I keep you, 'cause I'm scared to leave you. It's the fear, it's the fear of missing out. It's the fear, it's the fear of knowing now. Someone gets up and tell you, lessons that I left with you. It's the fear, it's the fear of letting go.
I'm always so impressed with like your vocals, B, the production value you have on the songs, and also it's so catchy. Like that's the type of stuff that just like needs to be blasted all across the radio, needs to be played on like all pop radio stations. Like that is like top quality.
Rachel, I'm like teary. You're over here like hyping me up, man. Thank you.
You're welcome. I mean, you deserve it. That was so good. Like you continuously put out such high quality work. I love it.
Thank you so much. No, that truly means the world. And I definitely kind of have a question for you because it kind of goes about what I'm about to say in a second. It's just finding your sound is a whole other ballgame in any industry, especially in the music industry, like finding your voice. And it's something that it's taken me a really long time to actually come to. And I feel like that's where these songs are coming from. So to hear you say that means more than I can even begin to tell you, because it truly makes me feel like, all right, we got the sound for sure. But like one thing I love about you is that you have this beautiful purity to your voice. And it is so just, it's breathy, it's gorgeous, you can do all these different tricks and dynamics, and it's just so pretty, and it's authentic and real. And I wanted to ask you is, how did you discover your sound? Because it really is so unique versus what you typically hear from females that are in the industry right now in your genre.
Oh, well, thank you, first of all. So I consider myself like a country Americana artist. But I didn't actually get into country music or start developing a love for country music until I was a freshman in college. And that's whenever I dove headfirst into Casey Musgrave's Pageant Material album. Because I feel like you could probably relate to this a little bit. Like growing up in the South, everyone's listening to country music. It's like all around you. And I didn't really take the time to actually listen to it, like, and let it sink in, because I was like, this is what everyone's doing. I have to be that like cool, different girl and like not, conform with the crowd. And then whenever I was a freshman in college, I started listening to Casey Musgraves, which led me to listen to a lot of old classic country and a bunch of other like great country music with great lyrics and all this stuff. And I realized that I had been like passing by this my whole life just because everybody around me was listening to it. And so that was kind of the start of developing my sound, was really my love for Casey Musgraves and her writing style. And I grew up in such a small town, like crazy small town stories happening, that it just sort of fit with the storylines that I wanted to incorporate in my music, to do that sort of sound, like country Americana storytelling type stuff. And I also am a huge fan of 60s girl bands and Linda Ronstadt and Carole King. And so I think like a mixture of Linda Ronstadt and Carole King mixed with Casey Musgraves and all that sort of stuff sort of funneled down into figuring out what my sound was.
Whenever you grow up in a certain region of the country, wherever you are surrounded by your peers, it's so easy to actually want to conform to kind of what the stereotypical sound might be or the stereotypical taste and preferences. And whenever you have something different and that you're interested in, it is oftentimes a little bit harder to kind of stick to your guns and be like, yeah, no, this is my thing. Because I was the same way. Growing up here in Alabama, and even whenever I moved to Florida for a little bit, it was like, oh, do you sing country music? And I said, no, it's just not my thing. But it's so cool, though, to just hear your authentic story about how you actually discovered this love on your own versus being so overly influenced by the people around you. And I think that speaks volumes for what you're doing as an artist, but also as a person, to stick to your intuition and your genuine feelings.
Thank you. Well, here's baggage. No, don't pack light, and that's no secret. Got my red lipstick and all my sequins. I can carry it by myself. I don't need your help, 'cause on the ground floor of the penthouse suite, I can lug everything up with me, just one step at a time. But all you do is whine. Honey, you just sing for my baggage, but I could be the whole package and so much more. I don't need your help with unpacking, don't need your help dragging my wagon through any doors. Oh, but since you pack so light, it should be easy to go. Don't leave a thing, just hit the road. It takes more than a carry-on to look this way. Do you think Dolly lives out of one suitcase? If you can't handle my crown, then get back to the playground. Honey, you just sing for my baggage, but I could be the whole package and so much more. I don't need your help with unpacking, don't need your help dragging my wagon through any doors. Oh, but since you pack so light, it should be easy to go. Don't leave a thing, just hit the road. So go on, get gone. Since you pack so light, it shouldn't take long. You could have been blessed by this mess. It turns out you're just like the rest. So go on, get gone. Since you pack so light, it shouldn't take long. You could have been blessed by this mess. It turns out you're just like the rest. Honey, you just sing for my baggage, but I could be the whole package and so much more. I don't need your help with unpacking, don't need your help dragging my wagon through any doors. Oh, but since you pack so light, it should be easy to go. Don't leave a thing, just hit the road.
That goes wild. Oh, girl, I love it. No, I think that song, whenever I first heard it, that's one of the first songs I found you on. It was so awesome because you're like, heck yes, this is so relatable. Oh my god. So you're awesome, my girl. You're awesome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your new song. That's so exciting.
Yeah, oh my gosh, of course. I mean, it's so awesome to get to be in these kind of live situations. I haven't been doing many of these recently, just kind of taking like some time to kind of get some personal things figured out and whatnot. But it's so awesome just to get to connect with other people like yourself who are so wonderful and so full of life and have such a beautiful energy about them. And also to get to talk to people again. I feel like this has just been really fun and kind of rewarding to get to do. So thank you so much for having me be a part of this.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. I love it. We're going to have to do this again soon. So I will see you later, Bailey. All right. Bye.
Sounds good. Bye, Rachel. Bye, y'all.